Hey guys, welcome to Clockwork down to Noodles. Welcome to episode number 11 of Summertime Render. The rabbit hole is getting bigger. The mystery is deepening. This episode was mind-bending because we have new information, new characters. We've now got new suspects, new additional pieces to the story. Before we get going, make sure you guys are subscribed to the channel because very shortly we're going to be beginning the new videos for summer. There is a video stating exactly what 4 anime are going to be broken down on the channel for next season. There is also my video for the top 3 anime of spring 2022. Is Summertime Render anywhere on that list? We are aiming to hit 1k subscribers by the end of the year so we can do some more interactive stuff, live streams. We can do nights where we talk about themed anime. A lot of the anime we break down on this channel is just seasonal, so we're talking about all the newcomers to the anime world. It would be great to be able to talk to you guys off topic, discuss anime over a good bowl of ramen. That's the feel I want to go for with this channel. Let's get our rabbit butts moving down the rabbit hole as this mystery just gets even more twisty. Anything with the word pre before it is a bad thing. So I went to lengths to go find you 4 words that have the word pre in them and are good. Free drinks. Free drinks tend to be a very good thing. Number 2, prepaid. Somebody has paid for you. It is already paid or you've paid it up ahead and you can now attend something. Preventing something generally seems to be a very good thing unless it's something preventing you from doing something bad. That could be taken independently, but it's still a word that could be good. Prepared. And being prepared is a good thing. The more prepared you are, you'll be able to tackle more things. And I threw in a 5th bonus one, which is the idea of previewing something. Generally allows you to see what needs to change and get a response or just see something ahead of schedule. So I feel like that's a good thing. So those are my 5 words. We are going to go back to the hellish cave. At least we get to find out that even shadows don't like the idea of fire. Fire is bright. It removes shadows. I'm wondering if that means that shadows don't like to go out in the daylight if they're in that true shadow form. But kill it with fire does seem to be a very solid bit of advice for most cases involving demonic, hellspawn, headless baby demons. I'm on the same boat. My favourite character right now hasn't changed. I absolutely love Tetsu. Tetsu is hilarious, the coward, and he's honest at heart, and I can read him. I think he's hilarious. He's quite nice comic relief whenever he appears. With an anime this heavy, it's actually quite a relief to sometimes have a character who's a bit more funny, a bit more lighthearted appear on screen, and I think that's what he's generally there for. Because he did try to isekai Mio with a bike. You're not Truck-kun. A nice attempt, though. So they end up going down into the black demonic pit of doom. Love his reaction when he sees the shadow, and he's just like, yeah, nah. It's not going to happen. I'm going to go and catch a drink. Bye. It is quite logical as well because he says she's not going to be down there. Now, he doesn't know about shadows. A kid's not going to be able to go down there. They're not going to go down there willingly. They're not going to go, oh, there's a big hole into a smelly sewer. I want to go down there. Very, very creepy. I don't like it. He may be negligent, but it does also make sense because how could a little girl move an entire manhole cover on their own? These things are really, really heavy. He realizes that it's unlikely that she would be able to lift it on her own, so I like that. I love the fact that he is motivated by the thought of being the local hero because whoever Erica is going to be absolutely mesmerized by his heroics and how manly he is. I don't know who Erica is. Have we met Erica yet? Ongoing gag that we're never actually going to see Erica. He is my comic relief. I love him. I think he's my favourite character. Every time he dies from now on, I'm going to be crying. Just a little part of my heart is going to break every single loop that involves him dying. A bit of a backup to one of the ideas that I had last week, and that was the idea that the shadows were printing or changing the locations prevented from seeing something. I do think we see exactly what they were trying to prevent them from seeing this week. The idea of them being able to create an entire coral cave. I think that does back up the idea that they are probably able to control the environment as well. It raises a lot of questions because that's still coral which is supposed to live underwater. Even if it's been printed, it's not in its environment, so it's not acting as it should. So whether it's actually shadow coral, I'm starting to have some ideas that I'm going to discuss a little bit later down the line with the deity character, the Hane character. I've got a theory and it links into the idea of the printing as well, but I'm going to save it till the end. This Toki reveal would have been really, really big to me if I hadn't noticed something whilst I was making my summer video. Now, in my summer video, you guys know this anime continues into next season. You know this anime is continuing. I'm going to keep breaking this anime down with you guys. It's going to be fun. But I noticed something in this picture, and hopefully I have this picture on the screen. I suspected as well from last week, something wasn't quite right with this character in particular. Now, in this picture, she is the only person who isn't in that front line of our main characters. She's looking from behind, looking at them as if she's keeping an eye on everything going on. She has a slightly different perspective from everybody else. Last week, a lot of us were wondering if she was a shadow, if she was evil. We were all debating it in the comments down below. It is confirmed she is not a shadow. She is definitely more than a little bit sus as she walks in with two humongous hellspawn big demonic babies. I don't want to mess with these things. These things are horrible. I hate them. And now they come in Buddha form. I don't like it. If we're going to say good and bad for now, she's definitely on the side that you don't want to be on because they're dealing with these demonic hellspawn babies pro end of the world. Toki does seem motivated by Mio, and I've got a few bits to say about that in a bit as well. Haruka Cave, folklore. This mystery goes back even further. And now when they're saying that it dates back to the army, it does make me think that it's a possibility that this shadow legacy goes on for at least maybe even 100 years. Probably means we need to go back 100 years to stop whatever this big plan is. That probably explains why the shadow at the end says it's too late. You're not going to be able to go back a week and destroy a big plan and prevent it from happening that's been in motion for 100 years. Whatever you do now is going to be child's play. This Haruka Cave, Haruko, is the guardian of the island. Seems to be the Hane character, the deity. This mother, her eye's been stolen and is somehow inside Shinpei, which is really weird. Some missing pieces there. Mio this week is not really showing me her smartness. Uche may be a very cool character who shows a lot of resilience and a lot of bravery. This could be counted as bravery. But Mio is fully aware of the shadow sickness. She does debate this could be Shuri's shadow, but she ends up bringing Tetsu down with her, then seeing the shadow further do something even more spooky. At this point, you know it's a shadow. She removes iron bars and she still follows it into the darkness. You could call it bravery or you could perhaps call it foolishness. But that is when we get a very peculiar line. Mio is human. She has an immunity. She's also with Tetsu, and you didn't mention Tetsu at all. So is Tetsu not also human? What immunity? Because there's a lot of humans on this island who definitely don't seem to have immunity. Why Mio? Why is Mio special? What makes her special? Toki not being a shadow, I didn't get the feeling that she was a shadow just because of the way she was behaving. I thought it was odd. Something about her didn't really give me those shadow vibes. She does raise a point. Shin can murder a shadow, but he can't murder a human. Always the characters who just don't bother opening their eyes that are the ones who are hiding very big secrets. And then as soon as their eyes finally open, you know it's all about to get real. It's all about to go down, and this is where things start to get even more twisty, turny, and it really does go all summertime render on us. This is huge. Also confirm a fan theory that we were generating in the comments last week. The Doctor, Suo's dad, is evil / working with the shadows. We don't quite understand the shadows yet, but it does seem like they're bad, trying to kill everyone, so definitely going to call them evil. He's aware of what he's doing. The clinic is also feeding dead people to the shadows. I don't know if they're killing them off, but maybe they're just waiting for dead people, and they are feeding the dead to the shadow babies. They are aware that they're shadows. They're aware of what they're doing. They are feeding them and allowing them to continue. Whether they're working with them freely or they're basically under the gun, if they say no, they're going to die. So it might just be compliance on their part. So we don't know if he's doing it willingly or he's being forced to do it just yet. Toki is also related to Suo. Presumably brother and sister, because she does say Oni-chan a lot. Their dad is working with the shadows, and he's also chosen to include Toki. I don't know why she picked him over Suo yet. She's been chosen to help out. She's seen Hane. The plan was to get defected Uche. Uche was this target because she's different from them and she's getting in the way of their plan. It seems they're going to be feeding her to Hane for 9 o'clock snacks. Shuri wasn't dead because she was able to slip down a really tiny crack, meaning these things are just insane. Very barely handle as it is, but once you think you've killed this boss, you've got to check that that shadow didn't go down anywhere tiny. Basically regenerate even by the sliver of information being kept. Shuri as a shadow is definitely no ordinary shadow. They then start to refer to Shuri as Hane, but I think it's more the case that the deity we're seeing is using the shadows all around to communicate and speak. So she is able to then enter Shuri as a shadow and then start talking to them, because we've already seen this in the vision. She was able to control that body and she was suddenly there holding on to Shin, giving him a really cool tattoo. But up against the main boss vessel of the deity, the odds were very, very slim. So it's not a very good time for Nezu. Makes it out, but it does seem like he's taking a bullet that's pretty much going to end him. I'm not too concerned right now about deaths, because death doesn't seem to be permanent in this just yet, because I do think we're very close to getting a reset. I don't know how it's going to happen because Shin is weaponless right now, but it does seem death isn't a permanent thing. So if we can reset, they're going to be okay. So I'm not too concerned until we start approaching things changing for the good. Final one, which is a make or break. That's when I would be a bit more concerned, because if anyone dies so close to them fixing things and making it all better, then you're not going to come back if that's the final loop. Does that also mean, let's say we do eradicate the shadow problem, is Shin never going to be able to die? If he does truly die at the end, or he dies of old age, is he just going to loop back a few days and then keep reliving his death? Which is a horrible thing to actually consider, that you can never actually die and you're just stuck in the loop, and especially right at the end where you're just going to relive your death over and over again. Horrible, don't want to think about it. 9 o'clock shadow feeding time. Yummy, that's quite late to be eating as well. The 4-armed shadow also seems to be able to shoot guns and mimic people. So once he learns the name, he's able to look into that person. Ryu ends up dying. Death isn't permanent, so I'm not too concerned, because I do think we're very close to a reset. Now, Toki seems to have been dragged into this against her will. She didn't really get much of a say. She ends up seeing all the hellish things going on around her, seems to have accepted things. She says, I accepted things, I just don't want Mio to see this. So you're gonna hopefully accept things as it is. She does seem pretty set on not having Mio find out. I want Mio to live in that happiness, that ignorance is bliss kind of thing. Great to see that that's perhaps her real self and that's what she truly wants. But is she also not aware that Mio has literally been the target of the shadows since loop number 1? What have you been doing sitting around watching the person you seem to want to protect, who has literally been a target every single loop? Why? If Mio does have some kind of immunity, is that because of Toki? Because Toki's helping him out and maybe that was her deal. Like, I'll help you if you don't hurt this character. But Shadow Mio is definitely trying to kill normal Mio. 9 o'clock, yummy yum times. Whoop whoop. She's gonna go and eat our girl Ushio. Painful. I really don't want to see Ushio get eaten, because I really like Ushio. I'm gonna be quite sad if I end up seeing her getting fed to Hane. It seems that this character ends up devouring other shadows, other people, to keep going. And it's interesting that she's on a drip. Elongated shadow. Something is keeping her alive. Maybe she's feeding off the world or this island, or the energy of this island, or the shadows keeping her like a life force. So maybe that also shows that she is connected to every single shadow. There's shadows everywhere. I'm looking around my room right now and there's shadows absolutely everywhere. Maybe this is trying to show us something a bit deeper, the fact that it keeps on going and going, because at the end, even the shadows are aware that they're going to be taken in and absorbed by this deity. Concerningly, Shin doesn't have a weapon, so I'm not sure how he's going to reset the loop, but I think we're very close to learning everything and needing to reset. He's going to definitely need to reset at some point. His death this time is going to be interesting, because it's going to be desperate, maybe even more painful and brutal. Do it without having a very quick method of doing so. I don't like that idea. I think we're approaching a reset. I think we've learned a huge amount from this loop. This loop has been one of the most informative loops so far. A shadow has been able to replicate something and print it and make it a living environment. This deity, she is connected to this life force that is the shadows, and everything is connected to her. She is a literal god. Some of those shadows, they're not human shadows. They are monstrous shadows. There's something more, something even more terrifying. And what would be more terrifying to a human than facing off against a god, a supernatural being, something we don't understand, something for most of us just don't believe in? The one who is creating landscapes is Hane. If she is a god, creating islands is child's play for her. Her being connected to the shadows, being able to talk via them all, is the idea of this hive mind thing. She is a being who is creating all these baby shadows, and these baby shadows are going out trying to take over all these humans, blending with society with the ultimate goal of absorbing the entire world. God of destruction or calamity, maybe, trying to work out what the motives are. Sometimes you get these gods who just want to see the end of the world, live for the sole purpose of wiping everybody out. So that is my theory right now. We've had a very interesting episode. A lot of information to take on board, a lot of WTF moments. Now Toki is a character we can't quite trust, and we're going to have to see what's going on. Would like it if it's more a case that she's accepted what's in front of her because she can't change it, and perhaps she's accepting it because if she accepts it and plays along, the person maybe she loves, and I want to go that maybe she does actually crush or have strong feelings for Mio, won't be hurt. So maybe she's doing it under the intelligence, the knowledge that her friend will be spared. That's obviously not going to be the case because they're still gunning for Mio. It'll be interesting to see what you guys think as well. I can't wait to see where it goes. We've got another entire season. Animes like this, the pacing is great. They're slow. They don't have to rush anything. Everything takes its time to unfold in its own time. And I love that. The pacing is great. It's not rushed. And it is slowly building. And I'm loving these little nuggets occasionally where we'll find everything out. And then the whole game just changes and it's all suddenly even more interesting to see what's going to happen. Because right now it seems like we're battling a story that's been underway for nearly 100 years. So I don't know how Shinpei is going to change anything. And that might explain why the deity at the end was like, well, you can't do anything futile. You can go back as many times as you want, but you're never going to go back 100 years and fix the initial issue. I hope you guys are having a great weekend and you're looking after yourselves. Have a good day, guys. Bye-bye.